So late last night, President Trump posted what appeared to be an AI-generated video on his Truth Social account. It's basically a promotion for his plan for Gaza, which is to essentially turn the enclave into a lavish Gulf resort. Here's part of that video.
Tunnels coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, number one.
Let's discuss with Kevin Barron. He's a national security analyst and former executive editor for Defense One. Kevin, thanks so much for being with us. What did you make of this video?
I mean, how many times do we have to see something like this where it would be comical if it wasn't so serious and so exhausting? These images just, they shock you, and then you laugh, and then you go, what are we doing and where are we living? And in a time where, as your previous segment just showed, the hostages are being released, we're supposed to be getting to a new ceasefire phase, we're supposed to be getting toward some kind of future for this region. The Saudi defense minister was just at the Pentagon this week as well. So there are these enormous security concerns going on, and this kind of video just does nothing for American security or regional security. But it does show where Trump's head is, right? It shows he's calling himself King Trump. He's putting out images of him as a giant idol in the middle of Gaza that looks like Vegas. I'm not sure what to say.
It reminds me a bit of when he went to meet with Kim Jong-un one-on-one, and he apparently showed him a trailer of what North Korean waterfront property would look like. He obviously views things very much from the perspective of a real estate tycoon. I do wonder, though, how this sort of video lands with Palestinians. Those who support Hamas, those who don't support Hamas and want to find peace. Is this the kind of thing that just generates animosity?
I wonder too. I wonder how many see it actually. I mean, who's watching Trump's Truth Social account out there right now? I think if you think of it as what it would take to get to something like this, go back to his original statements when he mentioned this. He was, giddily saying, just saying, we're going to expel all the Palestinians and rebuild this area to make it look, to what these images look like. And then he sees it and he, promotes it, just like he promoted a picture of Time magazine for himself. Look, he's called himself King Trump in recent days. He's portraying himself as a savior for these areas. Not for the Palestinian people, but like you said, because he's a real estate tycoon. He sees a business opportunity. We know there's family connections that would be involved in this. Yeah. There are people that think this is smoke and mirrors, this is ridiculousness, this is never going to happen, focus on things that are more serious. But I think in the security world, this absolutely matters, because why would anyone in that region who was serious about the future of Palestinian peace or the Palestinian prosperity think anything other than this is absolute absurdity?
To your point about focusing on things that are more serious, and you mentioned we're supposed to be getting to the second phase of a ceasefire deal. This 42-day truce is set to end this weekend. Negotiations over phase two were supposed to start several weeks ago. They haven't even started. Are you confident we're going to see some kind of deal?
Of course not. I mean, and nobody should be. But also, a deal for what, right? In the last week, we've seen the Israeli tanks going into the West Bank, and word that they're going to be there for a year. Israel seems to be doing everything possible, as it says, to prevent another attack like October 7, to tamp out terrorism as much as they can. In the military world, where I used to cover the Pentagon in the old GWAT days, they said, you can't kill your way to freedom. You can't kill your way to the end of the war. There has to be a peace negotiation. But right now, that's all that we're seeing. So a lot of people would like to know, what's that deal going to be? Is Netanyahu really on the side of Trump, who wants the deal more than he wants anything, no matter what it looks like? Or is it going to be more of the same?
So we saw this deal that Jeremy spoke about for the return of these 4 men's remains. We also saw these images, the huge crowds that came out for the Bibas funeral. Would you say that public opinion in Israel is at all altered by these developments? Does it sway people toward Netanyahu or more towards some sort of deal?
I mean, I would imagine people are pretty entrenched. And we saw even the families, wanting to keep government officials away from the funeral. A lot of these protests that have, from day one, have been aimed at Netanyahu for failing to secure them in the first place. Forget about what's happened since in Israel's, unbelievable response into Gaza. So again, I think you're seeing lots of entrenchment, but I also hear from people out there that people are exhausted. It's been a long conflict. There have been young people that have grown up in it now. And so any glimmer of hope for the future should be welcome. It would depend on what side you ask for. And I would again assume the Palestinians are not looking for a giant statue of a gold Trump on their beachfront property in a land that they want to rebuild for themselves.
Kevin Barron, appreciate the perspective. Thanks for joining us.